final task on the journey to experience real magic is to set your mind, that is your invisible self, on the path of miraculous living. What follows is a guide for shifting your mindset to experiencing a world where real magic is not only possible, but it's your birthright. With this shift, miracle making will become something you not only believe in, but that you manifest in your everyday life. Number 1, reserve your judgment and your disbelief. I encourage you to cultivate a new, self-declared openness to anything and everything being a possibility for you. Having an open mind and suspending your disbelief allows you to experience new vistas, while your closed mind keeps you trapped in your old ways of thinking and seeing. Real magic is only available to those who can imagine any and all possibilities, while letting the how it will happen take care of itself. Here's a suggestion for implementing this. Practice inner affirmations, giving yourself permission to adopt new ideas. I will keep an open mind. I refuse to judge anyone or any idea. I will act on my new openness rather than my old skepticism. 2, create a real magic zone in your mind. Make this a very private part of your life. Reserve a small piece of your consciousness exclusively for this. I've been able to manifest what constitutes miracles for myself by having this very private zone all to myself. It was once while I was in a shower quietly meditating that I considered being completely alcohol-free. I asked myself, or my guide, whom I call Icus, can I give up alcohol beginning January 1st of next year? The answer was crystal clear. Just don't take a drink today, and ask again tomorrow. Just today. You don't have to look any further. And from that moment on, I have been completely alcohol-free. I recommend that you reserve your own invisible and formless zone in your own mind. Retreat there often to ask for the loving guidance, and the guidance will be there. Here's a suggestion for implementing this mindset. Keep one little corner of your mind open to miracle making. Investigate the lives of other people who've experienced miracles. Know this is possible for you, too. By allowing yourself to be receptive to these stories and genuine experiences, you'll begin to open up your mind to these very real possibilities for yourself. Number 3, affirm yourself as a no-limit person. When you develop this real magic zone in your mind and trust that you can go there at will, begin to affirm to yourself that there are literally no limits to the powers that you possess. A great rule of thumb is this: if you can conceive of it in your mind, then it can be brought into the physical world. To become your own miracle worker, you'll have to change the thoughts that create your world of limits and boundaries. Why not include the presence of real magic in your life as well? Here's a suggestion for implementing this no-limit belief. Affirm to yourself out loud each day that you are a spiritual being having a human experience, and that in this spiritual realm there are no limitations. This affirmation will help you open yourself up to tapping into the universal forces rather than being a skeptic and never allowing them to work in your life. Affirm it first, and then begin to act on that affirmation. Number 4, develop a new mindset toward the concept of intuition. You really must become comfortable with the idea that strong inner pleadings and sudden hunches are truly inner voices offering you guidance. Think of your intuitive self as God talking privately to you, just as you talk privately to God and call it prayer. I'm absolutely certain that you have numerous stories of times that an inner voice prompted you to behave in what seemed to be an irrational way and turned out instead to be life-saving. It happens to everyone. Most of us get these intuitive signals on a regular basis. Your intuition, that fuzzy inner voice that you hear so often, is a part of your life. It's there. It's real. Pay attention to it. Here's a suggestion for implementing this new mindset. Practice listening to and following your intuition just one day at a time. Try following one of those hunches in a new way just once today. Forget about the outcome and remind yourself that by listening to these intuitive proddings, you overcome an inner mental inclination to ignore them. Number 5, discover the secret that sits in the center and knows. Become familiar and comfortable with the notion that nothingness has something to offer you on your path to real magic. Consider, it's the space between the notes that makes the music. A note without space is one long sound. No nothingness, no music. Consider this: a room is not a room without silent, empty space within. surrounded by the shape of material form. No nothingness, no room. And so it is with you. You too are material form surrounding the invisible, silent emptiness that is also you. Without that nothingness inside, there can be no you. It is out of that secret in the center that you will be able to create miracles for yourself. Here's a suggestion for implementing this. Remind yourself that the world of form surrounds invisible emptiness. Remind yourself that you are form surrounding the invisible life energy. The more you trust that your life is on purpose and that you will not be misguided, the more you will commune in the peaceful, harmonious world of real magic. Number 6. Learn to learn through knowing and trusting rather than doubting and fearing. Much of your learning has likely involved questioning your ability to gain a particular skill. You were taught to doubt in a culture that stressed, you can't, it's wrong, you don't have the right background or the right credentials or the training or the experience. Out of doubt came a fear of your greatness, a fear of disapproval, a fear of failure or intimacy, and even success. If you want to become acquainted with real magic, fear and doubt must be replaced with trust and a strong reliance on internal knowing. Keep in mind as you shift to this new consciousness that behind fear is powerlessness. That which you fear you are fighting, and fighting always weakens you. Behind trust is empowerment and love. It is your choice always, and the choice begins in that amorphous inner world of the mind. Here's a suggestion for implementing this new mindset. Just for a few minutes today, in your encounter with strangers, shift to knowing and trusting as your way of interacting. Let go of the doubt and treat that clerk or that telephone contact with trust and confidence. This business of learning through knowing and trusting serves you in millions of ways. Try it. Suspend your doubt and fear and trust that things will work out. Number 7. Affirm that your intention creates your reality. Memorize and continually remind yourself, my intention creates my reality. Intention is the energy of your soul coming into contact with your physical reality. What you see around you, who you associate with, how you function daily, and virtually everything about the physical you is a result of your intentions or how your thoughts became energized into action. Creating miracles in your life comes from your intention to do so. Not your wish, not your desire, not your goal, your intention. Then and only then, you'll begin to turn that same potential into your reality in the material world. Here's a suggestion for implementing this. Rather than simply laying out goals or wishes for how you want your life to go, try shifting to the active language of intention. I intend to heal myself of this illness, rather than I wish it would go away. The concept of intention, of applying action to your inner pleadings, will allow you to activate what needs to be done in order to complete the thought and make it a physical reality. This is the very stuff of which miracles are comprised. Number 8. Experience surrender and satori. Surrendering is the equivalent of putting inspiration into your life. When you are inspired, you feel purposeful. When you trust in the invisible intelligence of the universe, you feel guided. It can happen in a moment, and it often occurs just that quickly. In Zen, they call this process satori, which translates roughly to instant awakening. This feeling of satori is a result of an inner decision to be at harmony with yourself and your physical world. It's really a decision to surrender. You can very likely look back to some significant positive shifts in your own life and realize you experienced a moment of awakening. This is the surrender moment called satori. Satori is available to you every moment of your life. It can only come if you have an openness to it and if you're willing to surrender. Just simply trust. Become still and then listen to your own mind. Be guided by an awakened attitude of surrender. The rest will happen as you see the light or experience the glorious feeling of satori. Here's a suggestion for implementing this. Think of the habits that have plagued you for a long time. Determine to go through the gate and change unwanted habits one day at a time. Recall the wisdom of satori. Surrender to a new consciousness, a thought that whispers, I can do this thing in this moment. You've awakened just for this moment. Now go to the next moment with this same surrender, not thinking about tomorrow or anything in the future. This is how you go about making those seemingly difficult changes, one step at a time with an inner grace that allows you to surrender and stop the fighting. Number 9, learn to act as if the life you visualize is already here. Act as if that which you perceive in your mind is already here in the physical world. You create your thoughts create your intentions create your reality. Consequently, you must begin to ignore your own doubt about the importance of your inner world and start acting as if the images you desire are already your reality. Here's a suggestion for implementing this new mindset. If you want to achieve something that has always eluded you, act as if it is already here for this day only. If you've always wanted to be in excellent physical shape, but have never achieved it, act as if today you are a perfect physical specimen. Walk instead of driving to the store. Eat properly. Exercise in the privacy of your bedroom. This is the avenue of miracle making. If you want to be confident but don't normally act that way, today, just this once, act in the physical world the way that you believe a confident person would. This is how miracle-minded people really act in their lives. Try it. Number 10. Live according to your spiritual self first and your physical self second. In developing your mindset for real magic, you must begin the process of living primarily according to your spiritual self. Miracles will only occur if the choices you are making are in concert with your spiritual self. Your first responsibility is to your spiritual side. Consult your mind before acting, and therefore become authentic to yourself. It is nothing more than an internal shift. There is no need to rid yourself of physical habits nor pretend that your physical longings don't exist. Instead, what you do is you rearrange your priorities, making first contact with your soul, paying attention to it first, and allowing your behaviors in the physical world to flow from those new thoughts. Look within and listen, and your priorities will be clearly seen and heard by your physical self. Here's a suggestion for implementing this. Rearrange your priorities just for a day. Make your mental images the most important part of your life and live according to them just for this day. See yourself having a pleasant, lovely evening with your spouse or your loved one. Don't let this picture go. This is in alignment with your spiritual self first. It's all still an invisible thought. Now act that thought out exactly in the manner which you first created it in your mind. By aligning yourself here first and keeping that priority uppermost in your mind, you'll soon see how easy it is to keep that alignment operating throughout your daily life. Number 11. Study the paradox. You can never get enough of what you don't want. Consider all of the things that people do not want. The alcoholic despises the alcohol which consumes his life, yet he can never seem to get enough of it. So too the drug addict. So many of us disdain the money that seems to run our lives and the need to chase it, yet we never seem to get enough of it. That which you crave sends an unwritten, unspoken message to you. I am incomplete without that which I crave. If I get it, I will be more whole, more complete. But this is an illusion. Since you already are it all, you do not need anything else to complete yourself. When you truly know this, your wants disappear, and you're able to do nicely without that which you don't want, but mysteriously keep on craving. When I gave up the pursuit of money, more of it flowed into my life than I had ever known before. When I gave up needing to be right, I gave up the anger and the grief that accompanied that need. When you know that you're already complete, already whole, the pursuit of things which you truly do not need or want diminishes, and your life takes on the delicious flavor of purpose. Here's a suggestion for implementing this mindset. Create an inventory of those things in your life which you continue to pursue, but truly do not want in your life. Now create an inventory of what you would like next to the one you've just outlined. Rather than deception, you might substitute truth in your relationships. Rather than booze, you might substitute 8 glasses of water a day. Rather than anger, you might substitute love and harmony. By assessing that which continues to rain into your life because you're letting it in and encouraging the leaks in your life, you'll automatically have the handle on a new way of eliminating the erosion in your life. Inventory your life. Get it on purpose. Number 12. Ask nothing of anyone and practice unconditional acceptance. All your demands of others create an environment where miracles are impossible to manifest. You must be empty of judgment and demand in order to experience real magic in your life. Asking nothing of anyone gives you a true sense of freedom. Whenever you're about to be upset or angry at someone, stop yourself with this statement: they owe me nothing. I expect nothing of them. I'll just accept them where they are right now. You'll find that 2 days of practicing this attitude will convert you quite nicely, particularly if you practice this with the person to whom you are the closest. For me, it's my wife. When I remind myself that she owes me nothing, that she is a loving presence in my life with no obligations to me, then I have to be accepting of her unconditionally. Notice I didn't say that I had to agree with her 100% of the time. I simply remind myself to demand nothing and to accept her unconditionally. Her presence in my life is a gift to me. We are totally responsible exclusively for our own souls. When I remember that, my wife and I have a beautiful spiritual partnership that is joyous. When I forget it, as I do occasionally, we have stress and unpleasantness, and real magic is impossible. Life is what it is. It's no more and it's no less. Ask nothing of it. Come alive in your mind to the point of demanding nothing of anyone, or even of life itself. See the divineness in all of the people you encounter. Accept that, and you will be in the inner frame of mind for creating real magic. Here's a method of implementing this. Give yourself a day to ask nothing of anyone. Your spouse, your children, your co-workers, everyone that you encounter just today, decide to give to instead of taking from. You will soon see the less you expect from others, the less demanding you are that they serve you, and the more will come your way. Just give love and unconditional acceptance to those you encounter and notice what happens. How can you be angry or hurt when you have no expectations? Number 13. Begin to develop authentic power for yourself. To be authentically powerful, your power must not reside in how others react to you, nor exclusively in your physical strength or appearance. Authentic power is not located in the physical body because of the inevitable changes that transpire in the material world. Authentic empowerment is found on the path of alignment with your soul's purpose. With each step that you take to align yourself with your soul's purpose, you further empower yourself. As you listen to this tape, remind yourself that your objective is personal empowerment, to literally become your own miracle maker. When you become realigned, you will follow your inner signals almost effortlessly. The physical temptations will remain, and occasionally you will allow them to win, but your new spiritual alignment will dominate your life, and a periodic slip will not dislodge your authentic self. Align yourself to the soul. Listen to those inner pleadings to be at ease and on purpose, and you will shift your life over to being an authentically powerful person. It is with this mindset that real magic will become available to you as a life choice. Here's a suggestion for implementing this. Detach yourself for a brief period from the behavior of controlling others through your size or your authority position or your physical appearance or your age or your wealth or anything that's external to yourself. Imagine yourself as just a soul interacting with other souls. Truly treat others as if the fullness of God resided within them and that all manner of physical world attributes are non-existent. Give this a try for a day or two. See how much authentic power you truly possess. All of your physical attributes will someday disintegrate, as does everything in the world of form. Know this, and live today as if it has already happened. I often do this with my little children. I imagine myself without my adult-sized body and all of the power that goes with being grown up. I try to relate to them for a period of time, say on the way to school, as if we were all without bodies and only our thoughts and souls were present in the car. I see how empowering this is to them and to me. I listen to them rather than giving them orders. They see me as a loving guide rather than a big person father who can make them do what I want them to do. Give up your need to control and substitute a kind of unconditional acceptance of those you meet as soulmates, all equal in the eyes of God. You will be surprised at how you will empower others as well as yourself when you shift your inner world away from domination and control to one of unconditional respect and loving harmony. And finally, number 14, practice daily meditation. This is all out crucial. Learn how to meditate and make meditation an integral part of your daily life. This final step in creating your miracle mindset is, for me, the most significant. 5 years ago, I couldn't imagine myself meditating on a regular basis. Today, I can't imagine myself or my life without it. It's the vehicle I use to create the state of mind I've been describing. Meditation teaches you to be peaceful, to remove stress, and to receive answers where confusion previously reigned, to slow yourself down, and ultimately to be able to go to that peaceful place at any time. And I do mean any time. In the middle of a business meeting, in the midst of a tragedy, or during an athletic competition, any time. Meditation can and will help you to become your own miracle worker and come to know the meaning of real magic. There's no right or wrong way to meditate. There's no specific strategy to follow. It truly is just allowing yourself to go into another dimension that is free of the limitations that you experience in your physical world. In your meditative state, you can play out a difficulty or problem in your mind. See it. Experience it first within your invisible self, and then play it out how you want it to go in your physical world. Remember the key. As you think, so shall you be. There are many wonderful books and guides on the subject of meditation by people far more qualified than I am. I will describe how meditation works for me. However, you will only know what it is and what benefit it offers you when you experience it directly. I have found that my most valuable meditation time is early in the morning. You might want to take that last hour in the morning before you normally would have awakened and devote it to meditation. Don't worry about being fatigued, because it seems that 1 hour of meditation can be the equivalent of an entire night's sleep. My first objective in meditating is to get myself to an alpha state. What works for me is taking deep breaths and concentrating totally on the longest intake and outtake I can manage without having any intervening thoughts. I avoid the temptation of endless thoughts bombarding my consciousness by repeating the word I as an inner mantra, very slowly to match my breathing pattern. The alpha state is an incredible lightness of being. I then concentrate more fully on my inner vision and may elect to create a pure white screen. I feel alone, peaceful, blissful, and ready to use this meditation time in any way I desire. Each session offers numerous opportunities to use this time in a valuable way. You are now entering the spiritual world as you elect to go within yourself and discover God. I welcome this time and suggest it to be treated as divine and special. Don't let anyone degrade it or impinge upon it. The practice of active meditation includes presenting problems or questions for consideration. I often ask, what is the lesson here? Or how can I benefit from this situation? For example, at one time I was experiencing some difficulties with my 14-year-old daughter. At issue was a boy she wanted to date, and it felt impossible to talk to her without our communication being mired in upset and obstinate behavior. In a meditation, I asked the question, what is the lesson here? How can I be of service to my daughter? Suddenly I saw her on my inner screen. She was crying, and I asked her, what's the matter? She responded, I can't talk to you about it. You're my father. You really don't understand. I visualized joining her, held her hand, and said, I agree with you. I am prejudiced and overly protective as your father, but I know someone you can talk to. Then, all in my mind, I transformed myself back to her age. There I was, 15 years old, holding my daughter's hands. As a teenager, I asked her to tell me what was bothering her. She opened up, telling me, teenager to teenager, all that bothered her about her father. She related, among other things, how I couldn't be objective and didn't trust her to have good judgment. When I came out of this meditation, I was crying, but I felt as if I'd made a breakthrough. While it was merely a ritual of the mind, it was truly a miracle in the making. Later that morning, I had perhaps the most meaningful conversation with my daughter of our entire lives. I related what had taken place in my meditation. We sat holding hands, explaining to each other how we felt and vowing to share more openly what was troubling us. The situation was resolved. We hugged each other and said, I love you. I will try harder to hear your concerns. Both of us said these magic words. I've included this little story here as an example of one of the many things you can do while you're meditating. The vehicle of meditation offers uncountable opportunities to resolve conflicts. The guidance is there within you. While meditating, you can ask questions and receive answers. You can also go backwards in your life and relive experiences and be able to see the lessons that each of those life experiences provided. You can commune with those who were once in your life and are now either in a different part of the physical world or who have left this physical world. You can learn to get to the heart of any illness that may be a part of your life, blessing the discomfort or disease and seeking the illness's meaning. You also may come into contact with your healing capacity. You can discover that your mind is capable of creating chemicals that will reduce your discomfort and aid your healing. You can learn to ask for and receive the courage to make significant changes away from addictive poisons and unhealthy lifestyles. You can also just simply empty your mind and quietly go within and allow whatever guidance is there to come to you. in that quiet, empty, silent space within you. After meditating, I enjoy a continuation of the experiences of that incredible lightness of being. I feel centered and focused and relate to others, seeing the fullness of God in them. I really cannot emphasize enough how valuable the practice of meditation is for me. My technique is my own. It's not part of any formal meditation training. It works for me, and it has evolved, as will yours, from having the intention to make contact with this higher part of yourself. When you believe it is there, you will discover how. There are many wonderful books and guides available to assist you in the how, but at this point, you need the intention to discover it for yourself. When you have committed yourself to achieving your miracle mindset, you may find the following checklist helpful. These 14 suggestions are only a beginning, but they are the keys that can unlock the door to real magic thinking in your daily life. Here's a review. 1. Reserve your judgment and your disbelief. 2. Create a real magic zone in your mind. 3. Affirm yourself as a no-limit person. 4. Develop a new mindset toward the concept of intuition. 5. Discover the secret that sits in the center and knows. 6. Learn to learn through trusting rather than doubting and fearing. 7. Affirm that your intention creates your reality. 8. Experience surrender and satori. 9. Learn to act as if the life you visualize is already here. 10. Live according to your spiritual self first and your physical self second. 11. Study the paradox, you can never get enough of what you don't want. 12. Ask nothing of anyone and practice unconditional acceptance. 13. Begin to develop authentic power for yourself. 14. Practice daily meditation. Once you have the inner way, the outer way will follow.